All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow Haley. Check this out. What I'm going to speak to you about here this morning, all right, is something that really, truly needs to be discussed. It's something that we need to be able to have a healthy discussion, a healthy dialogue, because, you know, tradition, just because you have tradition doesn't mean that your traditions are right. Liberty. Whatever liberty you believe you have, be it perceived or not, your liberty is being sacrificed today based on, listen to this one, this is sad, the emotions or how someone feels about a certain thing. See, what we're watching is we're watching quickly the culture being shifted and changed to a militant particular culture all around here, you know. And this particular story right here goes on the heels of an experience I had yesterday. I want you to check this out. All right, RT, look at this. Employers can ban wearing of visible religious symbols, top EU court. Now, before I go on and read this article right here, and I'll leave the link below, think about this for a second. All right, if you are living in a world, and we are living in this world, and you are comfortable with yourself. You're comfortable with what you believe. You're comfortable in your theology. You're comfortable in your lifestyle. You're comfortable in just who you are as a person. Okay? No matter what somebody else does, as long as they're not harming you, you should be fine. Should you not? Should you not be fine? The problem is this, is that when you have all of this rhetoric that's going on through the news media, and when you have all of these traditions that many of you just simply don't want to check out, when you see someone dressed a certain way religiously, all kinds of stuff starts running through your head. My question is this: have you ever stopped for a moment and start checking all these thoughts and all these emotions that run through your head just because somebody is different than you are? Have you ever done that? Because a lot of times you'll find yourself religiously angry or religiously biased or religious bigot against someone because they don't dress like you do, they don't look like you do, they do not act like you do, and they don't live like you do. See, the hypocrisy of all religions in the world is to say that you want the truth, but then you go and live a lie, you celebrate lies, but then you turn around and say that we have the truth. You know, for instance, you get up, you get your family ready, you go to church on Sunday, and you say you read the Bible. Now, I see the reason why a lot of people don't want nothing to do with Christianity, nothing to do with religion. You know the reason why? Because you're a bunch of damn hypocrites. That's what you are. Your own book, you transgress, you go against it, you put your tradition before what the book says, and you expect everybody else to see things the way you see it. And it's just someone who has studied, someone who has learned, someone who's informed just not going to see it that way. So what really truly is taking place is that anytime someone makes us feel uncomfortable, we start to discriminate and we start to have fight. Mind you, they could have not done anything against you whatsoever at all. It's just the fact you feel uncomfortable. See, a lot of times when people are very devout in what you have been trained to call religion. You know, somebody asked me the other day, Pastor Dow, aren't you religious? I go, no, I'm not. Well, what are you then? I said, okay, I'll give you the answer, but you're not going to understand it. I will answer your question, but you still will not. I will answer your statement, but you still won't understand it. All right? Because they said, go ahead. I said, I am lawful. Somebody said, well, he said, what? I said, I told you wouldn't understand it. Because, see, many things in order for you to get, you actually have to go outside of the scope of the way you have been trained, coerced, and manipulated. And you need to start really, truly investigating what you have been made to believe, just to see if it's the truth or not. Promise you, you do that, you're going to find out that all these people who have a similitude look like they love you, you're going to find out they don't love you at all. They don't. Being lawful means I am obedient. I'm obedient to what the word says. Being religious means you can do whatever you want because it's just a tradition. It's just something that everybody else does. You know, it's just religion, and religion is defined based upon society and culture and whatever the church, and who defines what their church is, or whatever they say. But to be lawful is to be obedient. Y'all get it? So what we're experiencing more than anything, and I keep telling this over and over again, we have the West, the United States of America, going around all over this earth committing acts of terrorism against all these other nations. And they're doing it for resources. They're doing it in order to make our nation live better. They're doing it to make sure that we have a better lifestyle for the people in this land, and that the people that are entrenched in capitalism, the billionaires, continue to expand their balance sheet and make more money. That's what's really truly going on in a nutshell. You may not like it, you may not want to hear it, but it is the truth. That's what's really truly happening, okay? And so we trump up charges. We you know, where's the weapons of mass destruction? No big deal. We still made millions of dollars then, didn't we, buddies? See what I'm saying? And so at that point, you're not interested in right or wrong. It's money. God, the God of the United States of America is Federal Reserve notes. And God, that God is them greenbacks. So when we go across the pond, the EU, watch this. It says that the European Court of Justice, the ECJ, has ruled that employers can ban staff from wearing visible religious symbols at work in the first case of its kind before the EU's top courts. You know what's happening? That means anybody who has a different religion other than Christianity. And mind you, I'm going to say it again to those who have never heard it. Jesus Christ was not a Christian. I know that's hard for you people to believe. I know it is. It's hard. But Jesus Christ was not a Christian. He never knew anything about the religion of Christianity. Guess what? And neither did the apostles. They never preached Christianity. They preached the God of the Hebrews. You'll read it over in Exodus, the 3rd chapter. Jesus Christ himself was a Hebrew. He was an Israelite. Why is it so hard and difficult to understand? This newfound religion did not come about until the 3rd century, the 2nd and 3rd century. And so you got people taking this pen and writing stuff down and calling it the Bible or truth, and you've been duped and deceived to believe it because you haven't done your own investigative reporting. Now, I'm not making this about religion. I'm trying to paint a picture so you can see exactly what's going on in this world. You see, because if you're not a Christian living in Europe, then you're going to be discriminated against. I don't care if you're a Hindu. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Cushite. I don't care what your religion may be. I don't care. I don't care. You can Buddha, Rosa Krishna, anything other than what the state says, because you cannot run a society without two things entrenched. Number one, laws, and number two, religion. Bottom line. All the powers that be know this. The people that don't know this are you people that sit up there and just, you know, you capitulate and you acquiesce with the system. Anyway, so what happens if you got someone wearing religious emblems? I guess that includes crosses too, right? So crosses, moons, head coverings, that's the big thing right there, because that brings a lot of conviction on women who don't wear them, or dresses, skirts. Man, you know, who would ever thought we would get to the point in the world where a woman wearing a head covering and wearing a skirt will be discriminated against for wanting to cover her body and do exactly what the Bible says. See, we have to have some type of antichrist system that is set up. We have to. It's got to be set up by somebody. And again, if you don't do your own independent research, if you don't do your own study for your own self, throw out everything you think, including what I'm saying. Throw it all out and investigate for yourself and see what conclusions you come to. One thing I know for sure, if you're looking for the truth, and boy, that rabbit hole is deep, you're pretty much going to come to the same conclusions I come to it. That's just the truth. So the ECJ has ruled on 2 cases of female employees in Belgium and in France fired after they refused to remove their headscarves at work. Isn't that something? Now, what are those headscarves doing to anyone there? What? What are they doing? And what's going to happen is, whether you like it or not, all you people that are not like the people that have occupied these territories, you're going to have to just go back to your homeland to where you can exercise your freedom and your right of religion. It's supposed to be like this over here in the United States of America. But anyway, it says, in the first case, a Belgian woman working as a receptionist for G4S Security Solutions, which has no general ban on the wearing of visible religious or political symbols, was dismissed for refusing to remove her religious attire. That's what they call it. Why come they just can't be clothing? I mean, if we're going to do like that, can't we say a woman wearing tight pants to where you can see her shape and showing her breast? Can we call that the religion of lewdness? Shouldn't we ban that? But see, this is the problem. A woman covering up is a threat. And a woman that is showing everything, which the man can salivate over, that's nothing wrong with that. So we like that religion. It's sickening. But think about this. This is what we fallen. This is what the ideal of morality, what we fallen in this world. See, the problem is that these people are feeling convicted. And because this Islamophobia is all over the world now, created by the Europeans, of course. All right, follow me? And here in America, we're totally blinded to all the death, hell, and carnage that we do. I mean, we're different. You know, they chop people's heads off. They cut people with swords. But we're more humane than that. We just send intercontinental ballistic missiles. We send drones and we send Spectre C-130s and stuff and gunships, and we just blow the hell out of everybody. See, but see, America's better than that. You see, it's a sickness that's going on today. Well, what about you, Pastor? I mean, I believe that everybody should have the right to live peaceful and quiet, their own life the way that they see fit, as long as they're not harming anybody else. What's wrong with that? I can't help that you're disturbed and you are condemned because my religion or the way you see me dress or the way you see our sisters dress, they challenge your personal belief system. That sounds like a personal problem. All right. So anyway, they were fired. All right. They were just flat out fired. In the second, the French IT consultant was also let go when she refused to take off the headscarf after a client complained. All about that money, isn't it? An internal rule of an undertaking which prohibits the visible wearing of any political, philosophical, or religious sign does not constitute direct discrimination, the court said in a statement. The ruling comes on the eve of a Dutch election in which Muslim immigrants or Muslim immigration has been a key issue. The Islamic headscarf. Why is it an Islamic headscarf? I mean, because if you really truly read your Bible, go and read what the women did. Now, I know how your preachers are going to try to dismantle everything. I even leave a link to my ministry website where I actually have. I'll tell you what, I'll do better than that. I'll give you the direct link to a newsletter I did on head coverings if you choose to want to hear what the Bible has to say, because I actually do an extensive newsletter on the head covering based on what the Bible says, not what your religion says and not what you say. And see, and you'll think that people who call themselves Christians, who's supposed to be followers of Christ, that they will feel comfortable reading something that may oppose what they have already commonly believed. But the truth is, they love their tradition and they love their religion more than they do the truth. And I found that out to be true. I've had to actually go through all these painful steps. Coming out of the apostolic church, I had to go through these painful steps and just let the rubber meet the road. These people are a bunch of hypocrites. They playing. Now, if they want to play, I left peaceably. Go ahead and y'all go and play church. I'm going to go ahead and go on over here and do what the Most High said. And I don't troll these people. You don't see me getting all over them and stuff. I don't do that unless something comes towards me. But anyway, Islamic headscarves are a contentious issue in several European countries, with numerous cases of alleged discrimination against Muslim women emerging in recent months. In December, a 14-year-old Syrian teenager was reportedly kicked off a train in Berlin for wearing a headscarf after the driver shouted through a loudspeaker that he refused to transport her. Earlier this month, Australian government officials sharply criticized a recommendation by the Islamic religious community in Australia, the IGGO, which states that Muslim women must start wearing a headscarf from the onset of puberty, describing it as an attack on, look at this, integration and women's freedom. Okay, see, now I'm going to tell you the truth. Women's freedom is when you can wear a bra and a thong and stilettos out in the public, your face painted up, long hair, fake boobs, fake titties, fake ass, fake everything, and you showing everything you got. Now, ain't nobody going to say nothing about that. But amazing. As soon as you cover yourself up from head to toe, all of a sudden you become a threat. What in the world is that? Last month, a Muslim teacher who was hired by a Berlin school because she was wearing a headscarf was awarded, it looks like 8,680 pounds. That's in the U.S. dollars, 9,250 in compensation for discrimination. Meanwhile, according to Czech Republic, throughout the similar case in January in which Somalia refugees claimed she had been barred from wearing her headscarf in a nursing school. The case was said to be the first of its kind in the EU. I'll leave the link down below. Now, yesterday, I was in a bank, right? And the old lady says to me, all right? She says, can I ask you a question? Sure you can. Go ahead and ask me a question. She says, what is a sovereign? So I start to go ahead and explain sovereign. Of course, you know, when I go into that bank and I start striking conversations up with people, it becomes like E.F. Hutton. Do y'all remember the commercials, E.F. Hutton? So I begin to talk to her. And can you tell when you're speaking with someone that they have already checked out from what you're saying? In their mind, they've checked out. They're tolerating, waiting for you to get finished what you're saying, but they're really truly not paying attention. Because right behind the heels of that, they got something that they want to say again. That's what happened yesterday. Because I wasn't saying anything that she personally believes. Even though I told her the truth. I told her what sovereignty is. Because what it was is that a state trooper stopped someone allegedly up here. But I asked her, where's the news source? She couldn't provide it. So, you know, that caused me pause right there. Well, where can I go? What can I punch in? What can I type in to actually follow up on this? See, when you can't tell me, give me just a little bit, then that means that now we are in a discussion to where you have a personal visceral about something and you're actually using this to strike conversation to go down another lane. And that's what really truly happened. And don't get me wrong. I respect the older woman. I don't disrespect her at all. Matter of fact, I like the older woman. But, you know, if you're going to deal with things, you're going to deal with things honestly. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest and forthcoming, which she very much was. So what had happened was that a state trooper allegedly stopped someone and they said they don't need no driver's license because they are sovereign. So I broke down to her, gave her the definition of what a sovereign is. And so I started to ask questions. After I gave her the answer, I gave her the condition of a country. I said, do you know what statutory law means? Do you know what statutory is? No. Do you know what a secured party creditor is? You don't know what a secured party creditor is? No. So I'm asking these questions because there's no need in me going any further in this information. And then comes the punchline. Well, you know, I just believe that if people are going to be up here in this area where we live, they ought to do the way we do things. I mean, that's just the way we do it. Where everybody don't want to be a bunch of sheep going to the slaughter. You know, people want to live quiet and want to be peaceful. Everybody is not just going along to get along. Sorry. You mean to tell me so the system can rape you, the system can discriminate against you, the system can oppose you, the system can continue to keep raising your taxes, and there can be no resistance whatsoever at all. And anything that is considered resistance, then you will call that rebellion. There's a such thing as peacefully protesting, and there's such thing as protesting. And we just want to live a quiet and peaceful life. You leave us alone, we leave you alone. We'll do business, conduct business, trade, do whatever we need to do. But why do you have to hate me, or why do you have to not be fond of me simply because I'm different than you are? And I know what the problem is. You see, I'm a forthcoming preacher. If you'll go over to my other YouTube channel, and I'll put it down below as well, I talk a little bit different over there than I do on this channel. I bring the hammer, straight forth hammer. And I challenge any of your pastors. I'm not worried about all these trolls that want to try to take issue with every word. I want to deal with intelligent people who want to intelligently debate a subject or a cause and do it without a bunch of negative emotion and biases and being a bigot and practicing bigotry. I mean, if two people are shouting at each other, nobody's listening to each other. But I didn't come up here to this area. I bought my own land. So therefore, it's my land. I'm free, right? I can do whatever I want to on my land. I live in a country, according to the Constitution of the United States, that Congress can't make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So I can have freedom of religion, right? But because I walk around here and our sisters walk around here and we make the people common to this land feel uncomfortable, now all of a sudden you can't be comfortable unless I'm doing things the way you think. And that's just not going to happen. I'm not comfortable the way you do things. Well, we were here first. No, I beg to differ. You were not here first. See, that's another problem. And so I figured out that in this discussion that she really truly didn't even want to talk about what truth was. She had an agenda. She wanted to put forth an opinion. She wanted me to hear her opinion and entertain it, but she wasn't listening to mine and entertaining mine. And the whole scope of that is for me to see things their way. I already know the way people see things up here. Matter of fact, I know it better than they do. I mean, how much more honest can you be when I say, you know, all you people, you believe you're so right about this, and that. How about you can go to the junior high school, rent out the whole gymnasium, stadium, the whole gym, and we can have an open debate. I'll debate any preacher up here in this area on whatever subject that you think that we've got so wrong and you're so right. But nobody wants to do that. But what they do is talk behind the scenes, point fingers and stuff. Of course, that's their prerogative. That's the way they live life. They can do that. I'm comfortable with it. And you know the reason why I'm comfortable with it? Because, you know, the people I care about are the ones my subscribers who listen to me and want to grow in intelligence and in knowledge and have a healthy dialogue. I don't mind people being objectively disagreeable as long as you're tactful and respectful, because I'm that way towards you until you dishonor. When you dishonor, you done lost me, because you're going to get a big, healthy dose of dishonor back. That's the problem we run into, is that people don't have any respect for each other today. But live the way you want to live. I don't care. And these people up here, no, I don't care about I don't care about their gossip. I don't care about their slander. I don't care about their getting on social medias. I don't care about they talking about me. It has no bearing on me whatsoever at all. I don't even entertain it. You follow me? Something come my way, I listen to it, I go, man, who is that guy? Man, that's a bad dude, man. Look at all this stuff written about this Pastor Dow guy. Man, look at these people. And by the way, who are these people? Oh, I don't even know them. I don't know them. Never met them. How they know so much about me? Well, it must be the other Pastor Dow that they know. Man, if what they saying is true about that Pastor Dow, that's a bad dude. But I know one thing, they can't be talking about me. There's two Pastor Dows. I'm the real one, and then there's another one. Man, it's utterly amazing. But that's the problem that we're living in. And the news media is not doing anything to try to improve relationships. Matter of fact, they are the problem for the divide in this country, period. Because the way they spin the narrative. So that's why I don't too much entertain. Unless these people want to have a civil discussion about things, then you go ahead and be comfortable with what you believe. Go ahead and believe it. But know this, when you come over here, I'm going to check you on what you call truth. I'm going to hammer you on what you call truth, because I'm a very truthful man. Aren't you a truthful man and woman out there? You didn't come to this channel because you want to entertain a liar. You came to this channel because you want to know the truth. And I realize that a lot of truth that I speak and teach, you're not ever going to investigate. You're not going to look at it. You're not going to study. You're not going to entertain it at all, and much less live it or do it. I already know that. But there could be There's one thing that you may change about yourself, be it social, political, religious. It makes no difference. Political, ideology, theology, it makes no difference. From all those perspectives and point of views, you just may change one thing about your life and see, man, this is a good change. And you may move forward. But anyway, man, I turned this article into something, but man, I tell you, it's just sad what's going on in this world. Don't get sucked up into the vacuum of hatred and discrimination.